neither condone nor abide by this fucking recording session happening in my kitchen.
Psychedelic Space Beef Band. God damn it.
She's hungry for Mongolia barbecue and dick.
Basically, what's going to happen is every week we're going to offer to suck Mark in.
Steven, do you realize how bad of an idea this was? This is an idiotic decision.
Yeah, exactly. How Backstreet Boys. It's like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Obviously, like, as a friend, come on, guys.
An incredibly poor decision and literally betrays everything that the Beef Session is about.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Lost Beat 6 Show.
Yeah.
I'm the DRE, and we got Punished Steve as well, and the original guest of the Lost Beat 6
host,
Show.
Actually.
The original host.
Bob, you were the guest.
That's right. That's right.
He was the host.
Yeah, I never thought I'd end up hosting back in those days.
You were the only one that was actually buying it. This is fun. Yeah, we'll hang out.
Yeah, fuck it.
And then, that was the birth of Terry Gross, the Ultimate Adversary.
Yeah.
Everything started on that night, and Calvin was a part of it.
God, was that
Night of
It was
first.
early January.
January 2016, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been about 2.5 years since.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Calvin.
Hi guys, it's me. It's Calvin. Yeah, I'm not sure how we're gonna run this. I've never played the drums before.
I thought that might show up in the first minute. I took that bet, so I looks like I made some good money. But you've been in Seattle for about a year now, right?
Yep. I've been here, or I guess I've been there for a year. I'm back here in Los Angeles, and it's just absolutely great to be back. We had some Tommies. I haven't had Tommies in like a year.
Yeah, some good chili burgers.
Yeah. And
They bring the beef, they bring the sauce. What can I say?
Exactly. Beef and sauce, the two essential things for any podcast that we do.
it's good to chill with the beefers again. It's been a long time, and you guys have created this awesome podcast.
I'm glad you like it.
And now I'm on it as a guest. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do, but it's cool. It's cool to be on.
Yeah, we have some good conversations on here. Take some shots. You have a mark that I made about 3 times too strong for you.
Yeah, I figure that's kind of part and parcel in how the podcast got so good.
It's definitely a core ingredient.
It was a key essential part of that system.
So you've been in Seattle for a year at the University of Washington, right?
Yep, that is true.
And
I'm a research associate.
Is that now at risk from putting on the show?
yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, is that in jeopardy? He's coming on the show. Is that now in jeopardy?
Could they revoke your scholarship?
Could they revoke? Well, I mean, it's not really a scholarship. It's kind of a long story, but I don't think so. I mean, as long as I talk about science and honest and, true, and I don't get into like our 4chan days, I think we should be fine.
In those days that still are going on? Oh, wait. So, what exactly are you?
They kicked Dan Harmon off the fucking tweet. I'm sorry. I really have to point in that at the time of this recording, Dan Harmon finally done what he should have done a long time ago and deleted his Twitter account.
Yeah, I stopped following him after Trump won because his account just became insufferable. Whereas it used to be sometimes funny, and I was like, oh no, this is really annoying.
I mean, I've gone to a couple of Harmon towns where it was like.
I mean, Harmontown's great. I love Dan Harmon, but like the guy's Twitter is trash.
It's.
Yeah, it should have deleted it a long time ago.
Yeah, it's just beef. It's really cool.
I don't know how it's evolved during the presidency. It was about a month in where I was like, oh, okay, this is really annoying, but enough on that aside. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Every time 4chan, we all know every time 4chan comes in the news, it's because of fucking poll.
Oh, well, yeah, they're the new landing spot, it was V back in like the Gamergate shit.
Yeah.
And before that it was B. Now it's Paul. Like phone posting and R the Donald has flooded 4chan with hundreds of thousands of insufferable teenagers and complete idiots that now all go and post on Paul, and they are the bane of every 4chan user's existence.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure when people say 4chan, it's that and not, you know, the
not the good stuff that they've always done.
Yeah.
Not that many people would share that opinion.
Not the anarcho-syndicalist communes.
Like,
no, they would.
The fucking frog is not a symbol of the alt-right.
Yeah, but it was labeled as such. But all right, good start. So what I was trying to ask you is, you've been,
like I said, my name is Calvin Malkovich, and I work at the University of Redmond.
No, but excuse me. So you have been in this field for about 7 years now, or is it 6?
Oh boy, I mean, it's kind of a long.
Because you started out researching film.
Yeah, well, I started off as a film student, right? And those were some good days. That's when I really started hanging out with Steve here more.
Yeah, in the Northridge days.
The Northridge days, chilling in the uncanny valley. I started off in film, and then I guess this is the time I guess I should talk about it. I was in the hospital for a couple of years.
Yeah, it was a rough stretch for a while.
Yeah. So basically, I guess to people that don't know, I had 2 cancers.
He's not dead yet. Come on.
It's a little louder than I thought it would be.
I had 2 cancers at the same time, and so I spent a lot of time in the hospital. And these were the guys that stood by me.
Yeah, you can still see the Red Rocket and the Baby Ducks recordings that we made in the UCLA Medical Center.
Yeah, so I guess
they're on YouTube.
Yeah,
Are they on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on my YouTube. So basically, boy, should we start all the way from the beginning, talk about the definitives? And then
we haven't really discussed much definitives on the pod.
Wow, so we could just dive right into
like to talk about those days.
I'm finally, I've come full circle. I look back at it as a great learning experience.
I like the definitives. It's almost 10 years. It's time for them to make a comeback.
It has been 10 years. Over 10. I released the definitive hits. Released is a good word. I recorded the definitive hits in February 2008, so it's been over 10 years. And let me tell you,
what songs you took out of that
there was some stuff we used for the definitives, and I think there's still a couple things in there, but basically it was me on my dad's laptop, and I directly plugged in from my guitar because I didn't have any XLRs or a preamp or whatever, or a mic. Had nothing. I basically took a 1/4-inch cable, slapped a 1/8-inch adapter, and plugged it into the laptop's mic jack. And the only program I saw on the computer that could record was this thing called Windows Sound Recorder, which you could only record 30 seconds at a time. So I would have these 2 to 5 minute songs that would be only guitar or guitar and bass, and I would have to do them in 30-second chunks and then splice them together. Like in Windows Sound Recorder, you could edit things to be longer than 30 seconds, but you could only record 30 seconds at a time. So I would have to do a trick where, because it's so basic, it's just a little bar that the little icon moves across the timeline, so there's no fine editing. I would record a half-second clip, so I could actually like space things properly by like pasting that into the song. So occasionally I fuck it up and like there's like a half like note like where things are off, but editing those songs together took hours and was the worst fucking thing ever. But I actually made a couple coherent pieces.
That was the start of what would eventually, I guess, become Lost Beat 6, was just us chilling in Camarillo in Suburbia.
In 2008, yeah, that was kind of the beginning. That's when I had Alex, adversary, I should say, join the band, and Terry Gross, Ultimate Adversary. My original drummer, my brother, before Steve. Steve joins the picture a year later in 2009, and then Jake on the vocals. And we didn't have a name, but when we played Wainimi Elementary School in summer of 2008, or maybe right before summer, like right before they got out, because they have a little like end of the year kind of assembly entertainment. We got to the point where we had already set up. We were backstage, and they were like, "All right, what's your band's name?" And at that point, we didn't even have a name yet.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes. What's your name?
Yeah, it's basically that. It was like, well, we have to introduce you. What's your name? And we're like, shit. The only thing that's like...
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Like Shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Like Shit podcast.
We're gonna be on the top.
So, yeah, we had kind of joked that, the only name we could potentially throw out was The Definitives, because I put together that CD, and it was called Eric Moulton, The Definitive Hits, because, I had such a long and illustrious career that I decided to put all my hits on one CD. And that turned into the name, which is still one of the worst names.
It is.
Oh, I like it.
We couldn't think of any. We got better at naming or putting names together much later. This is like the early days.
Yeah, this is the fucking high school shit. We were just fucking idiots.
I like the name of the Definitives. I also like my name for the cover band for the Definitives, which was the Derivatives.
The Derivatives. Yes. That's right. That's
like
still in the works.
Yeah, I like Tyler Nichols' solo album Spare Change.
Spare Change. That's right.
But here's the thing, Calvin. I don't think you remember this, but basically, the way I joined the Definitives, I didn't know what they were called until you told me that's what the band was called. So, what happened was there was a talent show that happened in 2010.
That's correct.
And
it was, I want to say spring, March, somewhere around there.
And you guys were in need of a drummer, and I don't know how
who knows how adversary.
I don't know how Terry knew.
He was the bass player at the time.
I don't know how he knew I played drums, although I just mentioned him once or twice. I don't really remember. But from word of mouth, he found out that I was a drummer.
That's right.
And asked me to join in a trial run.
Yeah, and you and I had known each other from freshman year in English. Fucking what's her face? What's that teacher's name? Some of the B.
Names at the time.
Beckman Regalado?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I failed both semesters, by the way. That put my high school career in a good start.
Once I realized I was she knew I liked Monty Python, the grades were the little connection of comedy.
Yeah, I refused to do homework, so that that really dug me in a hole that I.
I'm actually rereading the Odyssey and going back to those days.
Oh yeah, that's right. We read that one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had known each other. We were in the same group for, I want to say, A Tale of Two Cities, right?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure I probably. Yeah, maybe it was both. And we, at the time, I was super huge in the Beatles. I mean, I still like the Beatles, of course, but that was like back when they were my all-time favorite. Like, oh my god, everything Beatles. So we bonded over that for a while, and then
it was baseball and
yes, 2 years later, junior year, you were the big Cardinals fan. I'm the big Dodger fan. And second period, we had chemistry, and Miss Sue, who is the ultimate not give a fuck teacher, I think, of all time.
I miss her.
She was amazing. I deserved probably a D+, but I think I got like a B+. Like she just like, bless her soul. I love Miss Sue.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And if you disagreed with her, she would kick you in the face. It was like her.
She had a bit of a violent side, but
this,
2009, it was a different time.
Yeah, she did this great snap. The way she'd snap at students for silly things. It was like, I don't know. Anyway, but.
Wait, one last thing I gotta say about Miss Sue. She was almost kicked out of college for playing Counter-Strike too hard, which made her a hero.
How old was she when she was teaching that class? She was young.
Yeah, she was probably like 35.
Okay, she had like 2 kids, or maybe 1 or 2 kids.
She had 1 kid. I think she was on her first child.
Okay.
I think she just looked a lot younger than she actually was.
Probably.
But yeah, so we had known each other kind of vaguely throughout high school.
Yeah.
Never really were part of the same primary friend group, but yeah.
Like hovering, passing ships to the night sort of thing.
Yeah. But in senior year, yeah, when the talent show was showing up
Yeah, I showed up here.
or approaching.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, there's Tyler.
Cardinals,
I kind of
yeah.
know him.
Yeah, Tyler had joined the band at that point.
I knew
That's right.
I knew Adversary more than anybody else.
Correct.
And Jake had no idea who the hell he was.
Yeah,
I thought
and Jake 2 years younger than everyone else in the
he
band.
was a cameraman the first time I saw him. And then he's also
Oh, that's right. We had to film the demo to send to fucking ASB, who sucked ass
So,
and did a terrible job in our sound check. But you know,
yeah.
so yeah, the Definitives, which is
So,
which were kind of still a current offshoot. You know, the primary 3 members of the Definitives post talent show are the 3 primary members of the Psychedelic Space Suit band. So,
but the next day, and I must have passed the audition or made it work. I don't really remember how.
I just needed a drummer that could play. Yeah, I had low standards. My brother at the time had fallen deep into an Xbox Live addiction and had refused to play the drums. I would beg him. I'd be like, "Come on, let's fucking play. We used to play," and he would just no. So I was desperate for a drummer, and I was all right. He's great. This is good. I played once with Chandler Giusti in sophomore year, I want to say, when we recorded the Stadt oder Land video, a classic.
And I were bitter rivals.
Yeah, which I did not know at the time.
Was it bitter rivals with
But he and I
Chandler?
were the only 2 drummers in advanced band in middle school.
Runs
So
deep.
and he was actually the better drummer too.
And he played with me first, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah.
He won in both regards.
I'm not your second.
But so yeah, after that, it was clear that Steve was interested in making music as I was. You had come off of a previous band, John Doe Jersey, in your early high school days as well.
That was just kind of dicking around.
Yeah, I don't think that had ever been as serious as the Definitives had tried to be in terms of songwriting. So
Sorry, I had to finish. The very next day, after I passed the test,
right.
Calvin comes up to me during lunch hour. He goes, "So, I see you're the new drummer of the Definitives." I'm like, "The who?"
No, the Definitives.
The Definitives. I'm like,
Did I guess I must have not even told you what the band name was, probably because I was ashamed of it. that sounds accurate.
I didn't really care what the name was. I was just like,
You're like, what?
all right, sweet. Like, it's just the band. That
I guess they have a name.
Alex is in.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so it all kind of worked out.
Yeah.
I think that little vignette tells a lot about who we all were at the time.
And that talent show, we ended up taking second place, which the only reason I think we didn't win first is because the group that won was the
25 people.
25 people. So they had quite a few people voting in the audience.
Times by a minimum of 2, you have at least 50 numbers. Yeah.
They probably had, upwards of 100 people that were going to vote for them no matter what.
Yeah.
And we were 5 people, and we took second, got $50, which went towards a mic, the Red Heller,
That's right.
which is in my garage to this day, somewhere. But it was a somewhat successful show in my mind. Successful overall. I couldn't hear myself when I turned on my distortion, which in the video, which you filmed, Calvin.
I was just watching it right now.
You could hear me when I turn on the distortion. Like, I don't get quieter, but I don't know what happened. I thought it cut. Like, I thought my pedal was broken.
Yeah.
Which I think you see me kind of dicking around with the pedal in the second verse, and I don't use distortion later on because I'm like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
Even though it totally was. So I still kind of regret that.
You know what's funny? Tyler Nichols isn't pissed at me in that whole song. I mean, maybe later, but he's just kind of
Well, I mean, he's playing the rhythm part, which is, it's an upstroke. Yeah. So one of the few videos of Tyler Nichols that exists on the internet that isn't him doing the piston, which he became famous for his mechanical stroking method.
The piston.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the footage right now, it's got like this. When I was filming it, it didn't have like this nostalgic like quality to it, but now it's like looking at the washed out colors and like the handheld camcordiness of it. It looks different than like a cell phone camera.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Drumming techniques too.
But which hat do you have on for this one?
Brown one.
The brown. Oh, that's right.
What song?
This was also back in the era that I think lasted until I guess probably Mr. Lonely. Of like Steve always had a nice hat on whenever we played live, which was I was sad to see it end, but it was a good run.
There's a part of it that's never quite. And I still don't have any hat. It's just that it needs a good outfit to wear. My fashion sense is deteriorated back to like. And you and I are now like wearing black polos every day because
I work in black polos.
We work in black polos for different reasons.
Yeah, true.
So it's just like fuck. It's comfortable. It's
hey,
breezy,
you're goddamn right. It's comfortable.
And I'm now fat enough where I have to wear black to slim down.
I know the feel, man.
So it's become a whole reason why I haven't been as flashy as I used to dress nicely in high school, and I don't anymore. But
I never did.
I still bring the heat when it comes down to like
the hat game.
When I go down to LA just to see friends play shows and stuff, or I know there's people gonna be there. They're,
right.
I'll make an arrangement to wear something.
10 years later, it's like it's throwback.
I think the original Definitives performance is still on Google Video from the Wainimi Elementary. That's a good one.
Google Video?
Google Video. That's where Adversary posted it.
And you still have your PA.
You can see our punk rock version of Let It Be that, in retrospect was a bad idea. But, based on the kind of lineup we had, was really the only way we could have played that song.
You still have the 4th of July gigs we used to play?
Did we film those?
Yeah.
We did.
There's a part of it, yeah.
That may have been Tyler's account, or I don't know who filmed it.
I don't think it's on YouTube. There's like some small snippets when I made little ads for some of the shows.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What song did you guys play at the talent show again?
So we did a morning and an afternoon set. The morning set, we just did Say It Ain't So and Let It Be. 2 covers. In the afternoon, we did the same 2, but also a song called Mankins, named after Logan Mankins, an offensive lineman for the Patriots, who, because back in those days, I used to play Madden 07 all the time, and I play as the Patriots because they were my team, which is a story into itself, but not quite as interesting. But
it's fine.
Well, you know, it is an interesting story when you vandalized Wikipedia.
Oh, I did change. Yeah, I went to his Wikipedia page and I changed, I added in a thing at the end. I was like, he has a song named after him by the Definitives.
And that's how
it was up for like a month. Yeah, dude, I forgot about it.
Popular culture.
Okay, you need to re-record it and repost it so they actually have a source to it.
Yeah, right.
And whip that shit up on Spotify. It's, no, it's there. It's there.
Yeah, totally true. True event. There was even lyrics at one point. Logan Mankins of the offensive line. Like, I had a whole thing I did that went along with it. I think the lyrics still exist somewhere in a notebook.
That's
but
like a 70s Steelers song.
But yeah, no, that was our 3rd song in the afternoon set. And the show was so popular that according to Adversary's mom, who was a teacher at the school at the time, it shut down classes for the rest of the day. And we were not invited back the next year because we were too much of a distraction. Like, there were like 4th and 5th graders like trying to climb fences to like take pictures with Jake and like get close to him. We each signed like 100 autographs for children that day. We were the craziest thing they'd ever seen.
And then
It was fucking bizarre. Yeah, we never got back to that level of success.
Definitive mania.
Yeah, it literally was that day. Like, I shit you not. Like, fucking.
Like, you guys in 4 newspapers. A bunch of like middle schoolers, like
Not even middle schoolers. Like, it was K through 5. Like, the morning show was for K through 3, and then the afternoon was 4th and 5th. And it was insane.
Were you creating your Hard Day's Night fantasy?
No, we were living it. There was like, I shit you not, it was that ridiculous. Like, we were walking celebrities. We're all 14 to 16 white kids playing music, and this is like lower class Hispanic, children that have never seen a show like this.
Sorry, I just have to point out, and it all comes full circle when we did a photo session last year.
At the beach.
Beach.
Yeah, super close to where that was.
That school.
Yeah, that's true.
The photo session for the Meet the Beefers.
Yeah,
it's like poetry.
9 years later. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like George Lucas. It rhymes. You can see where it's all gonna go.
That day was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. But anyway, so after the talent show, we actually got into it. We started college. We started writing more, music that was a little more complex, and we had Apathy Song, which you wrote, which was the big crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I wrote.
We made the music video. He did.
I wrote the shits too.
A good story is my first really, really bad hangover. Actually, no, my second was the day after, 2 days after the Ducky in the Pond show.
Oh.
So the night after the Ducky in the Pond show, me and several members of Mr. Lonely convene.
What would become Mr. Lonely?
Correct. They weren't Mr. Lonely at the time. We still hadn't given it a name.
Explain what Ducky in the Pond is.
That's a whole nother podcast.
You could do 2 sentences.
That's literally like 2 separate podcasts.
Like an elevator pitch.
We just say Eric and I were recruited into a post-rock group. Or not really, it became a post-rock group, but essentially we were recruited into a project that became another thing. And this is
we're actually contractually obligated to not talk about it until Ducky's death, or 50 years have passed since July 2011. So we actually can't talk about
43 years to go.
Yeah. But anyway, so the night after that performance, me and several other members of the group, notably the only one missing being Steve, who I would meet the next morning, got together.
This is great.
And my grandmother was visiting Sweden at the time, so she lived in, it's like a, what would you call that second story thing?
It's an apartment?
Yeah, it's kind of like an apartment that's attached to my folks' place. So the place was empty. So me and three other members of the band got together and did a little celebration. This band that we had formed to play this show was like I said, one of the weirdest things that I can't even talk about. But we do the show, so we celebrate, and me and the senior member, kind of band leader, drink raspberry Smirnoff, and he's fresh from like a hard partying college. He's a sophomore
in Louisiana.
Yeah,
in the South.
And he's like, all right, we're chasing with high fives. I'm like, oh shit, I've never done that, but I'm 19. I'm like, fuck it, we'll do it. So we drink to the point where there's a balcony up here or up there, and it gets to the point where deep in the night, I do not have the tolerance at the time, and I'm like throwing up over the balcony on my dad's Prius, and like the other member that is the senior member of the group is like hosing it off. Also, had drank probably more than me, and then my brother gets home from I think partying himself. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" And then he's just like, your brother had food poisoning. Like it's good. Like he's just like totally chill.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah, it's like a completely like absolute pro at I guess he would have been 20 at the time, but yeah. So the day after, me and Steve were set to record the first Definitives record. And only, I guess, we never put together that second album.
No.
So
there's some silly songs on that second record.
They are, yeah. There's a couple
B-sides.
things.
Extreme Sausage.
Extreme Sausage was one. Steve gets there, and I'm like so hungover that on the drive from my house to his, which is a 1 mile drive, probably tops, maybe 1.5 miles.
I'd say 2.
2? Okay. At the halfway point, there's a Burger King. Kind of like an intersection where we take a turn. Maybe it's a little past the halfway point, but I'm so hungry. I can't even sit in this car. I'm just like, oh my God, I need to get out. And I think I got like 4 chicken nuggets. I couldn't even finish them. So we get back and then we record for the album, and it's some of the best tracks on the album. I still don't know what the hell happened. Like how I was able to even play.
That was recorded on this M box right here.
Oh yeah, what we're using right now.
Yeah. Is it still working?
It is.
Okay,
It's got a little red. I think. I think you're clipping a little there, Steve.
Okay, sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry.
But anyway, that was kind of the high point of the Definitives. Was that summer?
Track. Yeah.
Like
we were playing.
What happened afterwards? We would typically play a show every month or two, and we kind of learned that it was just a pay to play bullshit business.
Yeah.
And we were young and got roped into it. Like we had played 2 shows. Get this. So in December 2010, we played Rock City, Camarillo, which, by the way, Boris is playing in a couple weeks.
It's under new management.
Yeah.
And they're having Boris.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And we had played a second show at the fucking, what was it called? That place in Canoga Park.
Cobalt or the Guitar Merchant?
The Guitar Merchant.
Yeah.
So a really crappy, like, it's a guitar shop's, like, back of house or, like, separate side room.
The last time I had Tommy's Burgers was a Guitar Merchant show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go. So we had played 2 shows, December 2010 and February 2011. And a couple, 2 months later, no, 1 month later, maybe less, I get a fucking call from the guy that runs the booking for Whiskey A Go-Go, M Productions. By the way, fuck that company. If you're listening, Tom Delaney, what's his name? Fuck you. He hit us up for Psychedelic Space Week Band. I never responded. Yeah, he totally did. No, not him. The guy for the Guitar Merchant. That guy, I feel sad for that guy that he's still working Guitar Merchant.
How did he get a hold of you?
I don't know.
That's bizarre.
I'm not sure, but anyway, I never responded to the Guitar Merchant guy.
I mean, not that I'm jealous. I'm just like baffled that like I don't think you have any contacts of that unless other than the fact that like just the name.
I think it might have
on the website.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, we get an offer to play the Whiskey A Go-Go. And of course, at the time, I'm 19. I've seen the Doors movie. I know what the whiskey means. I'm just like, what the fuck? They want us to play the Whiskey A Go-Go?
It was a last minute call. Like,
yeah.
We need to, so it's like early opening. We only need like 6 tickets or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. 6 tickets, whatever.
So like my mind's blown. I'm like, we've been a band playing live for 3 months, and now we're gonna be playing the Whiskey A Go-Go. Like, this is fucking great. Like, this is an opportunity.
Dad was shitting himself.
Yeah, my whole family was like, this is incredible. Like, so we think this this Definitives thing, maybe we could gain a fan base or whatever. So we play the show, and
Crucial cult set.
It's okay. It's not a bad show. The sound's great. I remember being nervous as fuck, and right before the show, I always kind of had a thing with the Definitives. Right before the set, I just get really queasy. I'm just like, fuck, because not to overstate anything, but it really was my band. I wrote every song outside of the Definitive, or outside of the Apathy song. So I really felt like these live shows were like reflective of me as a musician. So I really took it hard going into.
You taught the rest of the band that's not other than me.
Yeah, I taught Adversary and Tyler Nichols their parts because I wrote them.
Do you remember the dude who was at my he was a classmate.
Cockfuego?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that shit talked me after the Guitar Merchant show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that guy. I don't know if I ever met him, but, you know. Looking back, that was not one of my better shows, but still, I'm like, oh, fuck you, dude. Come on.
I mean, and then while we were backstage at the Whiskey, that's when we actually met, what's his name?
Mandel.
Mandel.
Can't talk about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's part of the backstory.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's edit that out then.
Yeah. No, we'll leave it at that. No editing. But anyway, so the Definitives, in my mind and maybe our minds, you know, hit some success early on. We actually made money on the first Guitar Merchant show.
Did we?
Yeah. I was given I think it's 20 or 25 tickets to sell. We sold like 40.
Yeah, we had a lot of people there.
Well, it was only early on because everyone was like, oh, I'll see your band. And then it was like, hey, you want to see us for the fourth time? I was like, no, not really.
Yeah, like,
So we turned a profit early on, and then things kind of collapsed with the Rock City show that we did in November 2011.
Yeah, it was like
That's where we made the
quasi-release
investment. Yeah, we put out the album. We had the T-shirts. And yeah, that's when we had the T-shirts.
Wow.
And not to say it was a bad show or that there was no one there, but for the kind of turnout and, you know, sales for merch we were expecting, it was, you know, pretty much a failure.
Yeah.
And this was after the Ducky thing, so you and I were kind of shifting because this is November 2011.
Yeah. We also did the Key Club thing.
The Key Club was another.
Same year.
That was in September.
That was sapping.
And
that was a $600 show. We paid them $600 to play 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was, and I think it was fucking God, who was opening? The guy from Rat. I want to say the singer.
It's Stephen Piercy.
Yeah, he was the headliner.
Uh-huh.
What a fucking weird show.
And fortunately, we've outlasted the Key Club too.
That's true. Yeah, they're no longer around. Press S to spit on their grave. But anyway, that show was kind of the end of things. It was pretty clear that you and me, Steve, were shifting towards the other group as we were picking up and getting more and more success.
Yeah, Jake was going off in a slightly different direction as well. For a brief period, I think. It seemed like that way. It was almost.
Yeah, it was. He was hanging out at the Waterbury's a lot, and they were doing what they were doing, and we couldn't get him at practice as much, and you know.
We had basically everybody started going off to college.
Yeah, it was inevitable, you know.
So this is something new to me that I found out tonight. So you were the manager of the Definitives?
I was
for how long?
So it was a joke basically because I didn't play.
Was this when I was in the group?
No, I didn't play an instrument, and so Eric was really the one. I mean, I don't think there was any kind of like executive decisions for like for the Definitives. We just kind of took it as we go. So like,
yeah,
I was just around, and I didn't really play any instruments. I just like hanging out with the guys.
Well, we should preface this. We met for the first time in must have been junior year video productions, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other at all before that.
No, but we just started hanging out, and it was just like we had like always known each other for a
Yeah, within like weeks we were like the best friends in the class. It was kind of weird. I think we just vibed off each other's like eccentricities, autism, whatever, and it was like, oh, this guy's great. Yeah, I remember being very immediate. I was like, oh, like I had no clue. Like that junior year, I was only in that class because I had to change my schedule around after I took Miss Magrin's psychology class, and she was so horrible, and I was so horrified of the prospect of being in that class that I was like, I'm blowing my schedule up. So then I transferred into video production because it was an elective that fit what I was going for. So I was there in like day 4 or 5.
And my path was different. I was like, I'm gonna be like a director.
Yeah, you had been doing projects for years before.
Yeah, I was just
The Sandwich, man. That's still a classic.
Yeah, so in high school,
I still like that video. I still think that's funny.
I don't know where I got it in my head, but I was just like, I don't know, it was kind of like an Ovid from Community type thing. It was just like I can't reach people on like a personal level, but I can reach them through the camera type of thing. So I just got it in my head. I was just like, I'm an artist, and film is my thing. And I was like, I'm gonna go into video production, and like that is my focus, and I'm gonna go into film school.
I'm putting that away. Sorry.
And yeah, and then we just kind of, geez, I'm not entirely sure like what we talked about. It was
I don't even remember in the beginning.
But it was like literally within weeks. It was like we were just hanging out.
It was just hit the ground running the whole year. It was like, all right, you and me are getting this shit done.
Yeah.
Because we were honestly the only two people that did anything that first year.
Yeah.
Like there were those twins that did like the snowboarding videos.
The Cotes!
Yeah, the Cotes.
They are somewhat infamous in Ventura County, I think.
Oh, really?
Probably the closest things we had to celebrities for a while. With
Is that true?
What? Their snowboarding videos and like their wedding and then the coffee business they did I don't know.
That's hilarious. I'd never heard of them after that. I mean, I don't look at local news much, or maybe I'm not in the know, but...
Who are these people?
The Cote brothers, Zach and...
Dylan?
Dylan. Is it Zach and Dylan Cote?
I could be confusing that with Matt and Dylan Finney.
I'm thinking of Zach and Dylan Zamed.
Oh, I don't know.
Which is friends of mine that you guys I don't think have met.
No.
There's a lot of Zach and Dylan. They're not twins though.
Yeah, these guys were twins. They were total douche bros. No, Matt and Dylan Finney.
Matt and Dylan Finney.
They weren't that bad. They were agreeable, but they definitely had like this kind of...
The whole Prop 8 thing really soured me when we had that discussion. I'm like, fuck these guys.
They were political. They had an edge to them.
I mean, they weren't as bad as that one girl who was the worst.
That's who we got. Wait, Christina Survey?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna take my picture with what's his name? The Keebler elf. The one in the trunk.
Oh.
She took her picture with him.
Jeff Sessions?
Yeah, she took a picture with Jeff Sessions.
Are you fucking serious?
No, I'm dead serious.
Wait, the girl I'm talking about?
No.
Something different.
God.
Are you talking about
She was like the town whore, but like
something Hart,
Hey,
I want to say.
So like straight brown hair.
Yeah, her name is not relevant, but yeah, she was the worst of the because like.
Oh no! Okay.
Chris Quinn, who was the video production teacher, was kind of like
I don't remember her name, but I want to say
Nicolette Hart. I want to say something like that.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if that's what it was. It was some shit like that. But
yeah, she was.
I think we were
a character.
Yeah, because obviously, fall 08 was the Obama election. There was the Prop 8 in California, and we had the protesters out there, which I would yell outside from the van, like, fuck you.
For or against Prop 8?
The yes on Prop 8 people. The horrible people. Like, come on. But anyway, I think maybe part of it was you and I were definitely on the same page in a lot of those debates. We were like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
I was just like, I'm tired of Republicans. Let's have a Democrat do something for a little bit. Steer the ship left and right. I was very moderate back then.
I feel like I'm more moderate now than I was then.
Yeah.
Now, moderate from a standpoint of I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, those 2 years in video production, we definitely got a lot done. Actually, we made a classic, Bullets and Flowers.
We made Bullets and Flowers, and you did the soundtrack.
I did the soundtrack. That's right.
It became a definitive hit.
It was. God, was that song on the definitive hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I think I insisted on having it. I'm like, that's a great tune. We should play that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we were short on material.
It was a German. It was a
German video, so it's all in German.
And we were in Tarantino at the time because we were, of course, auteurs in
well, I mean,
video production.
Liam fucking Donald was living at my house at the time, and he had shown me Reservoir Dogs, and I was like, all right, I'm going all in on Tarantino.
Our minds were blown.
Oh yeah.
At that time, and so we made our own tribute to Tarantino, where
we had the trunk scene, right? Didn't we?
We had the trunk scene. We had the suitcase scene.
The suitcase, yeah.
We had the suitcase shot.
We have Garrett collapsing in one of the most amazing ways after getting shot.
It's all still up there. I mean,
The whole video's up there.
there's thousands of videos like this because we weren't the only person discovering
No, of course
Tarantino
not.
at the time.
No.
We were just running into in a Vons parking lot and fake shooting each other.
I was 1 year behind.
Yeah. This was a little bit before your time.
Like Inglourious Basterds showed up. Like, what is this? Who's this Tarantino guy? And why does he make such cool shit?
Yep.
And
There's that. There's the dueling banjos one we did with Tyler, where Liam Donald makes an appearance as well at the end with the harmonicas.
I'm still friends with Liam on Instagram. And
Yeah, I actually played some Left 4 Dead with him the other night.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I asked him.
He didn't have his mic on, but he seems to be doing all right.
In February, I asked him to be our Australian correspondent,
We should pursue that.
and we need to pursue that.
Yeah, we
He's
absolutely-
like, he kind of said the same thing you did. He's like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, dude, you just need to hang out. Like, you just need to talk. I've personally never met the guy.
No, he's one of the wittiest, funniest people I've ever known in my life.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm considering traveling around the world now that I have some funds or whatever, and I've been thinking Denmark, but I've also been thinking Australia.
The beach.
And we should preface this: he's not Australian.
He's New Zealand.
He's New Zealand.
But he's living in Australia.
Yes, he has been, because that's the thing with a lot of people in New Zealand. There's not a lot of jobs in New Zealand, so if you don't have an inn or whatever, you got to move to Australia to find work. And I will say, for people that have never met him, and this includes people in this podcast, if you think of Fly the Conchords, like the wit and humor, like he's literally fucking that. Like he was that funny.
Yeah.
And like quick and sharp.
Yeah.
So I miss the guy. It's been almost 10 years since I have seen him in the flesh, but he seems to be doing all right. So
Yeah.
shout out to Liam.
This one's for you, Liam. I'm not sure what it is.
Come on, the
We'll meet again one day.
We'll meet again. Don't know when. Don't know when. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Goddamn right. So basically, after the Definitives thing was kind of fizzling out, we had our run with, like I mentioned earlier, Red Rocket and the Baby Ducks.
Yeah. Should I go into that one a little bit?
Well,
It's up to you. It's what you feel.
Yeah.
So, if you want, we've done a lot of definitive talk,
Okay.
briefing our whole high school.
The early goober days
Eric
of.
and I's working relationship as of from 2009 or 2006 to 2012.
Yeah, really 12 years in the
Yeah.
making.
So then we enter the postmodern period where hipsterism is in full swing. People are discovering what bouginess is. The stuff, what was it? Stuff white people like is on the New York Times bestseller list, and I have 2 cancers.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure what kind of. It's probably the medication at the time, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm pretty. These guys are the ones that are in touch with me. Like they're the ones who take me to see. It's kind of a funny story. The other one.
Talking about 50-50?
50-50.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude.
Oh boy.
In retrospect, I regret doing that.
Yeah, what a brutal movie to watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I did not
We
realize.
didn't know either. We just thought it
Yeah.
was like JGL. Awesome.
Yeah, that was in our JGL phase where we loved the guy, which I still do, but.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, JGL. What could go wrong?
Yeah, no.
It was.
It was, yeah. You were still heavily medicated at
Yeah,
the
I
time.
will say I still enjoyed the movie.
The movie's still good, but probably do not take somebody.
Not really rewatch. I haven't rewatched it. Though.
I mean, it's a good
I haven't
movie.
seen it on reruns either. So
It's a good movie, but it definitely gets heavy in
Oh, yeah.
some areas.
And had I known what would have happened, definitely would not have done that. I still feel bad about
No,
that.
we still have the best of intentions, right? It was a good movie to see in some ways. Because
Yeah, it was kind of like, maybe this is like a relatable thing that can help with whatever, but you were not at the point where that was what you wanted to see or were ready to see, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's water under the bridge. We didn't know. I wanted to see it. I was the one pushing for it because I was like, somebody's making my life a movie. And
Yeah.
JGL is playing me.
Yeah, JGL and Calvin, let's do it. I'm in.
But at that time,
So this would have been, I want to say 2012.
yeah, 2012 or something.
Kind of like spring 2012.
I'm still,
You're on the cover of this YouTube channel.
yeah,
And, it's
on the, oh, no worries. So at that time, I think we're getting in video productions. I discovered Adventure Time. I was somehow on the end.
That's right.
I was somehow on the end for Adventure Time. I don't know how I discovered it, but I was really excited for this cartoon, and everybody was like, why are you being really weird for this cartoon? But I think we all then collectively discovered Adventure Time, and then regular show.
Well, Jake actually had been watching those. He just hadn't been talking to me about it.
Okay.
You were the one that showed it to me, and then that's when I was like, oh, fuck, this is awesome.
And I guess in one of the episodes of regular show, it's just like, I think they discover a keyboard. It's like a bunch of like regular show is like the show about like a bunch. It's like an animated show, but it was basically like an Adult Swim show.
Oh yeah, totally. It was way more like adult oriented than any other show on like daytime.
Yeah.
Excuse me, daytime Cartoon Network.
And it was basically about these college dropouts. And one of the episodes, the two main characters discover like a synthesizer, and it's called like the Power. And the Power can like, it has magical powers. And like at one point, one of the characters is just noodling around on the keyboard, just like a bunch of baby ducks. Send them to the moon. Send them to the
Yeah, that's
Send it to the moon.
That's right.
And I guess I like the poetry or just the ring of that so much.
Combined with our nickname for Tyler at the time, Baby Dick.
Yeah. It was my way of softening that, so it became like, I guess I was Red Rocket, and then Red Rocket and the Baby Ducks was like the next iteration of like our Adventure Time cover songs. Oh, that's Chris Moore.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
Are you watching The Sandwich?
Yeah.
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 There was one time when he came over, and my dad was like, "Oh, hey, yeah," and then Chris was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "I know they look similar, but that's not him, Dad." Like that literally happened.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's Terry. It's really Terry. That was bizarre. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I don't know.
I'm just like, while we're talking about it, I'm still.
You're looking at the catalog of
I'm looking at the catalog.
the old era.
Yeah, we have. Well, I think we were kind of blessed / cursed as a generation.
They
that
call
all
it,
of
they call it. Some people consider it the golden age. I would call it like a moldy age.
I mean, don't talk shit on The Sandwich, man. That's a fucking good video.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, okay, sure.
Where we were.
all of our creative stuff still exists on the internet, which is a kind of interesting thing.
Yeah, I haven't removed anything.
Yeah.
Only Steve has actually removed content from that I posted on the internet back when I was part of the Lost Beat 6 Twitter, which would be a frequent occurrence. I'd post something at 3:30 a.m. and then in the morning it wouldn't be there.
But back to Baby Ducks. It was starting to get like pretty actually like touch and go. Like I could feel like things were not going good for me, and I was like, well, okay, I wanna play with my friends. I did not just like one last time, but like you guys knew how like dire. It was not.
We were very concerned. We were not sure what was going to happen. We were hopeful, but it was certainly very scary.
I was getting worse, and so I was just like, guys, just get down here. Let's record like a song. And Tyler actually introduced me, I think, to like Ben Gibbard and
Death Cab
for Cutie. And I was just like, all right, well, this is how I'm gonna like wrestle with my mortality. We're gonna play I Will Follow You Into the Dark. And basically we kind of forced Tyler to drive down because he was the only one that could drive, but...
Steve could drive too.
I didn't have when I was living in the dorms, I did not have a car.
Right.
When I was living in an apartment off the dorms, I had a car.
He was happy to do it. He was, I think, I remember him being very stressed, and we head down...
And I didn't want to play Death Cab for Cuties. I was kind of like not down to play Death Cab for Cuties.
You and Tyler had discussion or disagreements about.
I was still like there were still elements of like Mr. Lonely, like negativity and sort of.
I understand. Oh yeah, no, that
kind of perturbed, kind of rubbed off in the wrong way.
No,
I mean, we were all in high school. We all had like our defense mechanisms, but we all...
This is college.
Yeah. I mean, we were fresh out of high school. In college, all that stuff that happens to you at high school, it doesn't like just go away. Yeah. It just becomes immediately dumped off, and that's why freshmen are so terrible. It's because they're just like, this is how we survived high school. And then you have to like untrain them to become like functional adults. But anyway... Yeah, so we go there, and I'm just in the corner, and I got tubes in my hand, but I got my ukulele.
Yep.
And I remember Jake was just like, so what are you eating? And I'm just like, oh, just broth. And he's just like, so beef juice?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh man.
It's just like, that's pretty crappy. And I'm like, yeah, it is pretty crappy.
Yeah, there'd be no beefing without Jake.
Yeah.
He's more essential than I am.
And while there's literally like just tubes in my hand, we just do this. We do this cover of just on my laptop in Audacity, like "I Will Follow You Into the Dark,"
which we are recording on Audacity right now.
Yeah,
it's a plug for Audacity. Tonight's presenting sponsors Audacity. No, sorry, continue.
No problem. I still really like that track.
For being what I believe to be, I think an iPhone recording or an iPod Touch recording or something, it holds up.
Yeah,
in a kind of lo-fi way.
A very lo-fi way.
If you ran it through some filters and put it in like a indie movie, if you ran it through some filters, it'd definitely be good, like white noise. But I don't know, you can feel the emotion in that track.
I should have brought Truman now. Sorry.
And you guys did some real interesting things, like Tyler played his banjo.
Yeah, he was on the banjo, that's right.
And Jake was doing some like interesting...
I played bass on a guitar.
For...
Volume in the Dark.
Oh, that's right.
I played the bass line for that.
That's right.
I also did like an interesting like percussion thing on it, and then Jake also like threw in some interesting like vocalizations, and it became like this really cool like collaborative... It was like our version of that song. And, like, that song kind of had, like, the stigma of, like, being a song like 13-year-old girls love. No worries. But
I'm going to bring this up in a minute, don't worry.
Oh, No Trust? Yeah. No, that's definitely...
I wish Truman was actually here. He's a veteran.
But I think...
Back in the day.
Get him out of his bed.
We kind of made
Tell
that...
his wife about Nugfest.
Oh, Nugfest.
I think that's your crowning triumph in high school. I think documenting and covering Nugfest the way you did in that whole documentary. That was classic.
Nugfest, yeah, and I showed it, I think, at Miss Berman's like class symposium, and everybody was like, "You have a gift, my friend." Kind of like your voice needs to be heard.
Wasn't one of the goals to sabotage and put it in the video yearbook too?
We had lots of crazy goals senior year, some of which we accomplished.
Yeah.
We set out an ambitious.
Those are the turtles.
Yeah.
Those are the turtles. Hoo boy. But
Camarillo High School Terrorist Organization.
Just to throw a tight bow on the I Will Follow You.
I'm sorry.
No.
I really don't. This is actually a very important part of your life. I don't want to
no worries.
I don't mean to derail it from.
No, I mean
it's
stream of consciousness. It's all tied into all that other stuff, and there's like a.
This is how the real podcasts roll, by the way, and I think this is actually gonna make the cut. Sometimes we do this with Kentucky and Jim, and they just like, don't play that out. Come on, man. Calling you out, dudes. Come on, cool.
like a bunch of like a lot of emotions kind of come back. It's kind of out of tune, but like I can feel Zach Braff like nodding in the corner, like
Yeah.
like I just
in his Navy Blues crew.
It's a super interesting. Wow.
Yeah, man. That was a great day.
That was a super awesome day.
It's actually a good song, too.
Yeah. Took you a little while, but you're back on the train. I will say, to have you here with us right now and what I was unsure about 7 years ago is, I'm really happy that things have gone how they have.
I kind of wake up every day and have this. I kind of try to find a silver lining in it, and I try to have this kind of good baseline now, where if I'm not dying, I'm awesome. I'm having a good day.
Yeah, no, it's
It's the, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
yep.
Yeah, and I did not have my health. But
There'd be times where we wouldn't hear from you for a couple months back then, even though we were contacting, because just, there was no contact possible due to circumstances. And we really weren't sure what was going on.
yeah, there was. It's actually kind of funny. I would talk to like my doctor afterwards, like after I was in remission, and he's the entire time he's like, "You're good, you're fine, you're good, you're doing great." But after I was in remission, he was like, "Yeah, it was pretty touch and go in some areas for a moment there. I wasn't sure," and I was like, "You bastard! I knew I was dying." Like the very Grim Reaper's like in the corner, and it's just like.
So is that this is a true healthcare question. So is that like good bedside manner, or is that like deceitful bedside manner? It's you can't do the patient. You're not allowed to do the patient any harm. Like by Hippocratic Code is sort of encouraging. There's like a mental thing where you can mess up how to use this.
No, there's been much research done on the power of your body and its functions being more effective when you have a positive or hopeful mindset. That is a proven thing.
Right. Okay. Then we have to establish that was good side. That he was doing you good.
In some ways, I think in some other ways, not so much.
Yeah, we don't know the specifics. Only you
It's
do.
complicated, right? In some areas, you want to know the truth. In some areas,
I know you're
not. Oh wow, this one is a real old one.
but I'm losing myself.
Yeah.
Boy, wow. So this is a cover of. Can people hear this?
I'm not sure.
In the background.
Okay. If people can hear this, this is our cover of.
When I don't remember you.
Yeah, when I don't remember you. This was Jake's old girlfriend.
Whatever I do
Yeah.
when I don't remember you.
Wow.
This I think we recorded at your place actually, Steve.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And here's Jake doing the second verse as the Ice King. It's one of the best moments in like a children's cartoon I can think of. It's like this sequence here,
Yeah, I know it's from
Adventure Time.
Did I ever tell you guys that I actually became, because I like these songs so much, I actually looked into who the songwriter was.
Yeah, Rebecca Sugar.
Rebecca Sugar?
Yeah, and you sent her the cover we did
I sent her these
of
covers.
Marceline's song is the one you sent her.
Yeah.
Because that's the one we did first.
And she liked it.
And she liked it,
She
yeah.
liked it.
Because it was good. Because we're good at music.
I mean,
So take away the definitives.
she's known for being like nice and everything, but she was very like I messaged her and I was like, could you send me like I knew she did like a comic at Cal Arts. I always wanted to go to Cal Arts, and I knew she went there, and so she sent me like a signed comic, and like this was back in the days in YouTube where you could just contact someone.
Oh, you contacted her? That's right, through YouTube.
Through YouTube.
Yeah, this would have been 2011, maybe early 2012.
And she sent one
Before Google took it over and fucked it up.
No, I think
that
Google
was after Google.
But they
Never mind. Sorry.
they didn't have their fingers in as many holes, maybe. Many pies. In the human, and it's adventure time.
My favorite song
I love it. I like how kind of like horrid and like ironic it is. It was like who we had to be at that time to like survive.
Yeah, I think we also did that one at the hospital. I think it was only
I will remember you.
I won't remember you.
I
That
never
was
really-
Steve's.
I never really tied the dots together, but I actually like developed like amnesia a little bit during one of those months. You could not contact me. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, I got like memento. I couldn't form new memories for like a week.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happens when you're on chemo, especially if
Yeah.
The song my favorite song from Adventure Time is always the credits song, the island song.
Oh, yeah, that one's great. Yeah.
With me.
That's a good one. We never ended up covering that one, but that's a
Put that
classic.
one on the list.
I could never find it on like iTunes or anywhere where I could look
You
it
could
up.
download it on MySpace.
I ended up downloading it off of YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those YouTube
Like a
converter
full song,
things.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Shit.
I've had a couple of those in the day.
Yeah.
What's funny about Rebecca Sugar is that she actually ended up having her own show where she wrote all the songs.
I mean, maybe not as successful as Adventure Time, but Steven Universe is,
Oh, is that what?
I think Steven Universe pretty successful. I think,
very successful.
yeah. I think Adventure Time though is definitely the poster child for I'm not sure what to call it, like postmodern cartoons, like cartoons for like people.
Well, it set a nice blueprint for like a great balance of comedy for kids, character development, enjoyable for adults, all of these things. It was so well balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only speak for the first 4 seasons. I never finished season 5, but
a lot of creative ideas coming in.
incredibly creative.
But like from that came like Bravest Warrior.
Bravest Warriors is great.
Being Puppy Cat, Steven Universe, regular show.
Yeah, no, it was.
Living in the summertime.
No, Adventure Time was definitely. Yeah, I think what you're saying, the postmodern cartoon, if we want to call it that, I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but I know what you mean by that.
Do you remember the time we went to WonderCon?
Yes, in 2011.
Yep. And
No, 2012.
I don't remember when you guys went. I didn't go.
Yeah, I had to call the whiskey and tell them we had to cancel, and they told me, you can't cancel. You still have to pay us. And I'm like, well, I guess we're still playing the show. So yeah, that was WonderCon 2012. in the back of my mind.
Show you ever played
Yeah.
at the whiskey after the last definitive show.
Yeah, the instrumental definitive show.
The poster. Is still
Jake
on my
was
wall.
removed from the band against his will and against our will.
Yeah.
So I was dealing with trying to figure out that whole situation during that day. But Corey drove me and him in the pouring, blasting rain.
Yeah.
And were you in the car with me and Corey?
I think I was in the car with you and Corey. I was like not super duper, like I didn't have like all my marbles back at that time.
Yeah. I just know Tyler met us there because his family was in the area. But I remember
Is this LA Convention Center?
No, Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Yeah. So Corey drove us in his car in like the literal blasting rain to where you could not see the car in front of you. He's in the fast lane, on the fucking 5, and we're just like, oh god. And we met Tyler there, but that was a good WonderCon.
That was a good WonderCon, and I remember going online to see Pendleton Ward and like wanted to get Denny's because we wanted some food in there, and we were like last in line, and we didn't actually get to meet him, and I was like distraught. I was like straight up like in tears. I was super duper stoked to see this guy, like who meant like a lot to me.
Definitely.
As, like, who was like this, this creative, like, hero of mine.
Yeah, I mean, 2012 was right when it really started to blow up. That was at the end or maybe beginning of season 4, maybe end of season 3. It was like really when the show had started to show its potential and really come into fruition, all of the incredible things they've been building and foreshadowing.
And then I remember, I was just like, we can't see him, and I was like distraught, and I saw this one lady, I don't know who you are, lady at WonderCon, who was like sat aside, and like I remember Maria Bamford was there, and she was like really like sad for me.
I'm sorry, who is she?
Maria Bamford. She's a comedian. She's a voice of a lot of characters in Adventure Time. Adventure Time also had like a lot of voice actors from like the comedy scene at the time.
Okay, I remember the panel we went to before what you're describing. There was a lot of members.
Yeah, and this lady goes over and talks to Pendleton Ward in a hushed voice, and like Ward comes to me and is like, "Hey, you want to hang out for a bit?" And I was like, "What?" Who can imagine this?
I think I was somewhere else when this was happening, but I remember hearing about it, and I was very. It made the whole thing worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I got to hang, like, it was like almost like it was like an informal, like, Make-A-Wish thing. It was, like, obvious that I was very sick at the time. Like, my face was bloated, like, I had, like, a beanie on, like,
It's pretty pale.
I was pretty pale. I was obviously very sick, and, like, Penn, like, he came up to me and he just hung out with me for, like, 10 minutes, and we walked around WonderCon. Like, he gave me, like, a hug, and, like, he told me, like, I'm not even, like, comfortable hugging my mom, dude. I was like, oh my god, you're an amazing person.
Did he actually go lump off, mom? He is the voice of the
Lumpy Space Brain.
Yeah.
I think he did, like, some...
He was LSP.
He did some voices. He signed a ukulele for me. I told him, like, hey, my brother's thinking about going to Cal Heights, and he was like, don't go to Cal Heights.
Yeah. Get behind that.
Wonderful.
And then, like, the last part, like, just before we parted ways, there was this Marceline cosplayer, and we were walking by, and, like, the Marceline cosplayer was just like, oh, do you think, like, somebody goes over and he's like, do you think you could take our picture? And we were like, sure. And, like, we do, like, this awkward thing where they think that they want to get the picture with Penn and the Marceline cosplayer, but the person just gets in, like, and sets up and poses like he just wants to be around the Marceline cosplayer. And we both do this double take, me and Penn, and we realize they don't realize that he's the creator of the show, and they've asked him to do, like, a selfie of, like, one of the characters, and they don't know that they've just asked him to just be the cameraman. And we both do this double take, and we just kind of laugh, and he takes the picture.
That's fantastic. That's actually a true con experience.
Yeah, back then, man. It was big. It wasn't that big.
That was I think one of the last years before WonderCon and like con culture in general like really blew up. Where like being a nerd became like really cool.
Yep.
It was still kind of
profitable.
Like
yeah, that's the bigger.
Most importantly, profitable.
Most importantly, profitable.
Yeah, like after Adventure Time, all that became like.
Yeah, you get Joe's No, Schmo's No, Collider videos, Screen Junkies. A lot of like all some of those muscular like jock dudes starting to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But at that time it was still like outsider art, like Adventure Time.
Hey, can you imagine that lineup at that panel being as not full as it was? It wasn't even a full panel.
No, and like we
did not have to stand in line.
We didn't have to stand in line.
At fucking Anime Expo in 2017, I had to stand in line for everything. And didn't get into shit.
Yeah. But it was simpler-ish at that time. It hadn't
Yeah.
blown up. Like
No.
we liked Adventure Time because we had like grown up on like Newgrounds and like all this weird outsider art.
Yeah, I think Simpsons is a big influence on Pelton Ward, you know.
Simpsons, Miyazaki,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, it all
Definitely.
like came together
Definitely.
for Adventure Time. And just it was just a really good moment just to be there at the con.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it actually made I don't know if you've ever even explained that to me fully what happened when you met up. I think this is the first time I'm hearing it, and this is
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this too.
6
You thought you were going to have
6
nothing
years
to
ago.
say, dude.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to.
That's what happens in these beef sessions. You start-
Exactly.
You're prying in the past. You're finding some things. Like, I've been rewatching some of your videos while this is going on in silent, but I'm still like in awe of what Nugfest was.
I think if there's a point to end it on, which we're running a little bit
closing
longer,
on, yeah.
I think Nugfest 2010, I want to say?
2009.
Yeah.
2009. Nugfest 2009. What was a watermark?
Oh boy. Yeah. So.
I'm looking at okay, I'm just looking at this and I can see all these people. I'm gonna turn the volume up for this.
Yeah.
Get it, mate.
I don't know why Aubrey pauses there.
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
Is this the time where I can go to the bathroom for a little bit?
Thank you.
And then we can wrap up?
Is there an ad for this video?
No, I actually pressed an Aubrey Plaza's awkward and weird video.
And didn't immediately correct it?
Well, it takes a while for me to get the finger down and just go back.
Chandler, do you think you could eat chicken nuggets? What? How long? Barbecue sauce.
I'm gonna have to hold that a little closer to the mic there, Steve. Oh, fucking, is that Travis? Fucking Travis Allen.
200 chicken nuggets, 1 hour.
A little closer.
A bunch of fatty wrestlers buy 200 chicken nuggets and gorge.
Supposed to be.
Oh, man, that's right. It's been a while, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
A micro documentary. Ben still looks the same, I gotta say.
I haven't seen him in a while.
This is number 37.
I don't think I've seen him in a couple of years, but.
Apparently, after about 5 chicken nuggets,
Oh my god.
100 and something of these. I had like 37. I can't even touch them. They said pain in there.
Oh, is that Jay in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, classic.
It took me 5 minutes to get the
Classic. This is America, folks. I think
I'm slipping now.
we gotta go. Thanks, Calvin, for coming on tonight. This has
I just
been.
want to make a point that one of these guys went insane after this happened.
I'm very well aware. I was very good friends with Austin in middle school. Yeah.
Was it Nugfest that caused the insanity?
No, I'm not sure.
That's a whole
Oh, there's the
other-
adversary.
That's a whole other situation we probably don't want to get into on something we post online.